coming your way, so that reflection might not be quite as effective as you thought it would be. So yes, I do think that Stylos is about to suffocate this Kazuya player, but also you need to consider how it's just one opening, and then Kazuya might take a stock at times. So, like you said, Stylos with Youngling does have some great CQC tools, but the overextensions, man. Last set against Stage, I saw Stylos losing some exchanges, losing some neutrals because he committed to an exchange, waiting for a boomerang or something, and the moment he lost that, he got punished extra hard. And so against Kazuya, that's gonna be applying a lot more even, but Marshens does a big mistake in his recovery. He might just give up the stock, but no, Stylos cannot quite punish.
Surprising that Stylos didn't opt to go for the downer at that height, because you know that you're not going to be fast falling that, so you could cover pretty much that area, and Marshens only had one tool left to recover there. The trade, the next big hit could be it for either of these guys. Stylos didn't get the nair, but is still covering with that up B. Great stuff from the player from Tampico, but look at that, and immediately Marshens just taking it out. Like, he knows that he can abuse the immunity that some of those, and I should say most of the moves that Kazuya does have, and they bring to the table. So it was quite an answer, and it's not like Marshens just was a sitting duck, right? Like, yeah, he did get very heavily punished, but he managed to bring it back at least in the damage department right away. So I'm expecting fully to see exactly that. But if Stylos is able to just keep it out with the projectiles, then we could be seeing finally a solid lead for him.
Yes, I agree. This lead, as far as you can push it, well, the better, of course, but I think it's one of those matchups where it really will be a deciding factor. Oh my lord, Marshens! Catching him on the air. Dear lord, Stylos really can't feel safe anywhere at this point. You were talking about that lead, and look at those percents. Even though there's still a big difference, well, it used to be quite a lot bigger. Stylos had 0% just a few seconds ago, and now Marshens committing to staying on the ledge. He's waiting for it, he's camping, but there's a yeet. Stylos has been getting a lot of kills with that forward throw, and it catches people off guard. They don't really know where to DI, and when they die, well, that's the exchange. Stylos keeps winning mentally as well, but Marshens, what is he looking for now? He keeps committing to these options, trying to catch Stylos rolling. It has never worked. No reason for him to stop trying, of course, but I do think that neutral is looking a lot more complicated than usual, and neutral is already super hard for Kazuya to play.
Yeah, like, versus one of the characters that can limit you the most in neutral as well. Like, those arrows are so fast and so potent, and they do start the combos for Youngling, so it is a very hard tool to deal with, and we are seeing he tries by the air, and once Stylos recognizes, okay, I'm in the range at which Kazuya can throw out a very deadly move, I can just unwind it to the other side, like just run away slightly. But finally, Marshens is able to take it. The rage drive is still in place, so this could be a very important option, and that is going to be a throw. But I do believe that will be running out just soon enough. And look at this, that was very, very scary, and he almost got that punish. Finally, the Rage is going to run away, but look at the percent that he racked up. I mean, if he had not missed that tech, I was still going to be very scared for Stylos, but clutching it out once again, that has been the story that we've seen from Stylos throughout his run of the tournament, at the very least in the loser's bracket, that he's able to clutch up what he needs to, and even though it was getting quite scary, like still getting that downer and closing out this game.
And you know, at the very end of it, you can tell when the round ends, when the match ends, how the players react. Stylos was like, he was relieved that the match had ended, because he knew how close things could have gotten, how closer things could have gotten. They had already gotten a bit close, and now we're going into small battlefield. So Marshens wants to get these kills even earlier if possible. Smashville, not a bad option as a stage to begin with, but in small battlefield, we can't expect things to go a lot more heavily into Marshens' direction. Of course, Stylos needs to cover much less ground too, so it should be harder to approach, but he's not playing a projectile-heavy game. Even now that he's actually away from Marshens, finally gets a conversion with the boomerang, but it's only the first one, and we're about 30 seconds in, and Stylos is completely blocked with his projectiles.
Yeah, like that could very well be the difference maker right here. If Marshens is able to close the gap, finally using a couple of projectiles, playing around that spacing at which he is trying to bait Marshens into committing to an option, and he does finally get that. Stylos goes for the up B, the bomb still in hand, and the setup, but look at that, just being able to run away with his own punish, and that is the power that Kazuya does bring to the table. 118 is still quite a nice percent, even as Kazuya is a heavy character, so that he could still be able to live a lot. And look at the punishes that he's still getting, lapping pretty much in percent, at least as far as killing prowess goes. Like, this is definitely a percent at which Stylos should be worrying, so he's gonna have to find an edge guard, and all of that because of another extension, right? And just not respecting Kazuya's options, finally getting that first stock. But it feels like Marshens is a new man, and he has a game plan that might just work versus this young lane.
Thankfully, he doesn't have to walk that large of a distance to approach Stylos, and like we said, well, like I said previously, the item blocking, let's call it that, really doesn't serve Stylos at all. He now gets eaten up by that up smash, and Marshens knows also that whenever Stylos commits to jumping, it's probably going to be an approaching neutral air, or perhaps a very well-spaced forward air, but he can think ahead of those two options. And the other thing is, Stylos is not really challenging Marshens whenever he jumps. Keep in mind, Kazuya is the only character in the game that has a 7-frame jump squad. Whenever he jumps, it's a commitment, and Stylos can catch him in that, but he is not playing that kind of game. There is a lot of area of opportunity here.
Yeah, you want to play pretty much try to bait him out of the ground, because, I mean, he has invincible movement in the ground. He has a lot of invincible move, pretty much every one of his tilts. Finally, Stylos getting that, and I like that little bait with the short hop and then getting the downer. Finally, the reflect, and it is coming out. Normally, reflectors are not as super important in a matchup, but here, just as the match has progressed and as the percents have gone up, like, it does show as he is every little percent, it's just gonna hurt if you are Stylos right here. And let's see the punish. No, the boomerang bailing him out. This is a new opportunity, and I thought he was gonna be at fully charged in smash, and that might get everything that he wanted. Stylos is still trying with the ledge trap, and he will put Kazuya in a very uncomfortable position. This might be it, but Marshens is still holding on for dear life.
Dude, how on earth Stylos was looking down on the ground, and suddenly we're even. Oh my lord, what's this going to be? Okay, there's no kill yet. He actually goes to the other side of the stage. He was looking for that stage spike, and it would have been untechable. And there we go, that's a downward to end it. Dear lord, Stylos, you're so clutch, man. How on earth do you bring such a match back? He was down and out for a while, but somehow he claims it back.
I mean, he started playing with a lot more confidence, and I love the patience. Like, you know that you have the mental pressure on the opponent, and Marshens there, I don't want to say that he crumbled, but he definitely let a lot of opportunities go away, and that was his game to lose, and he did, unfortunately. So here is Stylos is just clutching up once again, pushing Kazuya off the stage, getting a lot of percent, abusing the ledge situations, and once more clutching up when he needed it the most. Let's see if Marshens here is able to surprise us with at least a game. But I mean, the way things are looking up, even in spite of the great punish game that he has been showing and the way that he's been making Youngling suffer, still we are pressed to favor the opponent. However, Marshens is trying to prove a point right here, as that was a very, very big lead.
Absolutely, that was a huge lead. Now it's a matter of, will he get any extra credit? Because, again, Stylos was looking kind of blocked with the projectiles at the beginning, but now he is getting something working with them, and Marshens takes a lot longer to get in, but when he does, you can feel the heart rate going up immediately. Also, charging forward with some armored moves, because why not? You know damn well that Stylos will not have any super solid multi-hits to hit you with, perhaps the forwarder, but it's not a good option to go up against, and there you go, that's a stock. But still, Marshens, I think, is showing us what he is about to do in the remainder of the match, and I think it's a very solid plan. He knows he can power through the projectiles and then get to Stylos.
Yeah, and Stylos finally using the projectiles, getting that up B into a very simple combo, but the percent is getting a lot closer, and now in the favor of the young Link player. You have to be very confident after just getting brutally punished on that last game and then managing to bring it back. And I mean, the gap was a lot wider a couple of minutes earlier. So if you're Stylos, then you know that you can still make this back. However, Marshens still has not let the foot off the gas.
Yes, indeed. He is still riding this momentum, but this should be a stock. Yes, it will be. It's not like Adult Link's up B, but still Stylos has found a way to make that hero spin work wonders for him. He gets a lot of stocks closed out. And as we speak, look at this percent. It's getting a lot more even, but that was an Electric Wind God Fist. He does not get the confirm, though. That could have been huge for Marshens, who now has to play neutral again. And we already saw, when Stylos starts getting going, it's very hard to stop him. And so far, he's getting... Oh, he was being so successful. Percent was looking even, but no! He gets to chase him all the way up there, and that's the game.
That is going to be the game indeed. Kazuya Mishima getting on the board, and it looks like Stylos, even though he's being very clutch, he cannot clutch everything up, and you do see this is perhaps the outcome that Marshens wanted on the previous games, right? As he was at the beginning of the set, he was keeping up, and then he lost because of missing that hit. The second game, he was ahead pretty much the entire time, and then he got reversaled, and then this time around, like, he managed to finally be able to keep that consistent lead. And even though it was not the biggest lead, like, still a confidence booster for sure.
Oh, absolutely. I think Marshens is now going to find a second wave commitment. Oh, and you saw that right there, right? He's still committing to these options that he knows will give them a chain of moves. Let's call it that. As long as he can keep the chain going, the better. He can put Stylos off stage. He can try to go for spikes even. But Marshens here is actually committing in the sense that he's waiting for Stylos to approach. He is putting out these preemptive hitboxes, waiting for Stylos to get up close, and then the punish will be complete. But Stylos starts to find a way to play around that. Look at this. He is just holding back. He's not holding forward that long.
Yeah.
And he's forcing Marshens to throw like 5 up smashes or 5 electric whip God Fists. But you're going down with me, dear Lord!
Oh my lord, and that was I thought it was almost a genius play from Stylos, but then Marshens was like, no man, my character has some privileges. You want to check them out? And that was indeed a very nice move. Oh, the regrab goes unpunished as well, and this is going to be a huge chunk of percent, at the very least 20. And here Marshens trying to establish himself and bring us into game number 5. It just feels like this combination of landing aerials into trying to use an invincible move is working wonders for him, because Stylos just keeps getting baited, and he has not been playing at that same range that he was earlier, at which, like you were saying, like, he does not have to commit into an option. He just is trying to abuse the projectiles. He is back into that same game plan, but he also at the same time knows that he now is forced to approach because he's at a deficit.
Yes, he is the one in charge of committing to this offensive. And, you know, the difference is how that commitment is going to work, how they're going to push forward. Stylos is like, well, I can just shoot my arrows. These are infinite, thankfully. I don't need to go back to my shed and get some more. And so we're even, completely even percents. Marshens holding back now. He knows, too, that Stylos might go in, but he is going to win the clash a lot of the times thanks to the armor if he approaches on the ground. But if he approaches on the air and Stylos goes for a forwarder, well, you can expect bad things to happen. But also, Stylos keeps forgetting about that command grab, and that's the second stock he loses in the same way.
Talking about bad things to happen, right? Like, that same command grab option that you already know, when it's inputted correctly, is going to have those invulnerability frames. So good luck trying to deal with that, and good luck also trying to survive that upper from young Link. Things are perfectly even, but the bomb even getting a little more damage as Stylos is hurting, and it feels like Marshens wanted a bigger punish. Is still not running away with it, though. The percents are quite low with what we've seen, what Mr. Mishima can do, and especially, but great air dodge, and that was saved by the platform as well, as Marshens felt like, okay, I'm used to getting this punished because I don't even have to dash forward, but the moving platform saving Stylos' life, and I thought that we were going to see a reaction there, and this time around, like Smashville doing wonders for Stylos. Oh, and I do feel like command grab coming. I don't know why, and exactly that is the reason, and almost losing the stock. Look at that. Marshens is trying to push for this game number 5. And Stylos falling into his death. We will have the coveted final game in this set, and it's courtesy of an SD on the side of Stylos.
It's so weird to see that happen, especially on a game 4 where they were both so pushy. They were pushing forward constantly, but fast fall, I thought he was just going to go for the up B, but he did not press the button. And so we're getting a game number 5, and people in the back popping off. They're like, oh, things are getting sketchy. But here we go. We're back on Smashville, and now, well, we saw how the aerial approaches were getting beaten from Marshens, but now he approaches twice on the air, and twice he wins. He gets 75 just like that, but now Stylos is trying to get his own way, and he is super wary now not to get that command grab going, because he knows he cannot overextend, but there we go, Marshens with the amazing punish game. Stylos loses his first stock.
Stylos is losing the first stock, and he could very well be punching his way out of this tournament. Or should I say that Marshens will punch it for him, as he will get the station, and there was no way that he was living that. We are on the verge of a 3-stock if Stylos, I mean, we are talking about his clutch factor, and we are going to have to see the biggest of factors right there for him, as things are looking extremely dire. Marshens with the confidence. This is Mr. Mishima on attack. Oh, yeah, I don't think that is going to happen, but, I mean, what a man can dream.
Well, it would have been awesome to see a downer or something, but he does not get a spike or anything. He actually loses his first stock, so it won't even be a 3-stock. Stylos is back in the game, but, you know, he played it quite careless at the very beginning. He now gets caught in the electric with God Fist. He does not get the follow-up, though. Marshens keeps claiming his ground, though. He keeps fighting for center stage. He keeps winning. What? And that's gonna be the set. That was so fast. After such a tight set in general, he ends up going down like that. Stylos, he fought so hard, got so far, but in the end, Marshens isn't in top 5.
Yeah, Marshens is going into top 5. You look at that, the fanfare, and his boys just having his back right there. Very evidently happy for Marshens, who like just used and abused that platform on Smashville to be able to get that such an early stock, and Stylos not able to bring it back, even though we did see a couple of options that could have worked for him at the end. At the very least, he indeed managed to make his run into top 8.